So I am giving this a second try. Let's see if I can get this thing to work properly. So if you guys join in, welcome. I'm probably not going to do much. I'm just going to sit here and wait. Having some issues. So what I need to do is test this out. Um, I'm thinking there's an issue with my mic. So I'm going to try to figure that out. So bear with. My computer's really slow. Give me a second. Ah, I have audio. So it's probably not the best audio, but it's something we'll have to deal with in the near future. I might have to buy. I'll have to buy a mic or something to better supplement my situation here. So anyway, this will be probably just a short little hello, trying this thing out. I know I've come on several times before to experiment with the StreamYard. I've been kind of iffy about it because I'm not good in public situations. I get real nervous and choked up and all that stuff, so I try not to put myself in front of a crowd. So, yeah. So behind me, let's talk about the stuff I got here. This is my debut novel that I made not too long ago. Started writing this back in 98, 99, and I first published this book in 2010. And then my love for the fantasy world that I created expanded much further than what I actually expected it to. It kind of kept growing and growing to the point where I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen this already. Um, just started making maps of random cities, giving them names, and then giving them a home inside my story. And then it expanded into what you guys see behind me. This thing is my most recent creation. Um, Punchy box, leather strapping, made it look like it's wood, but it's actually all cardboard. Um, this will be one of the giveaway items that I have for my 200 giveaway, 200 subscribers. So this is I'm excited. Anyway, so when I first started writing and publishing, I was very much young and naive and thought, oh yeah, publishing a book would be exciting and fun and oh so glamorous. I was wrong. I first got published with what they call a vanity type publishing company. I ended up paying like $900 to have my book published, and yeah, at first I was pretty excited because they went through and they formatted it and they put neat little headers on it and gave me a good picture for the cover. But I had to do everything else, like finish up the story and do the back blurb and everything. They didn't help me with that at all. They only helped me with the actual publishing of the book. And I did the mistake of watching all of their sponsored videos, which kind of hyped me up even more, made me even more excited. I just didn't research their company. I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not really gonna talk about that company's name because I don't even know if they're still around. But it came down to a point where I wrote the book, I published it, and I was happy. I did one book signing. Nobody came, uh, but I was there, and I did have one sale, and that was disheartening. So I kind of set it down for a good 2 3 years before I actually started writing again. And then when I started writing again, I came up with a lot of story I should have put in the book at the beginning. So when I wanted to go in and do a rewrite, the company I was with was telling me, no, you can't do that. We can't do it for you. You're going to have to pay, I think they said $175. Yeah, $175 for them to redo the whole thing. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. So I left it alone. And then I went through and I redid the maps. I did a little research on map making and went through and redid them. And I wanted to re-put the image in and change it to what I have in this book. And they're like, no, that's $75 each image. And at the time, I had three or four images in it, and I was like, you know, this really sucks. I can't do anything with it. And it's my book. So I canceled my contract with them, signed a paper, and told them they no longer have rights to my book or anything else. And I cut ties. And then I went through and I added all the stuff I wanted to add and changed all the stuff I wanted to change and then published it on Amazon. The Legends of Eowyn. And this pretty much, this book itself pretty much just gives you a background on the world of Eowyn, the world of Mimi Barbara. I have so much information. I could probably separate this book into three, possibly four, but that's a lot of work. So I just kind of left it like that. So, yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. I am. I get to sit back and look at the stuff I made and feel excited for the people who are probably going to get these things. But anyway, I went on and I published a couple other books, and with Amazon, I took two of them down because they need to be reworked, and I'll eventually do that to all of them. But this guy here, no, it's my newest pride and joy. So instead of it being like that book up there, this one lies flat. Book comes out of there. If I get it in shot. So Ivar came from my original book, my original story. Because in here, I start off explaining the fantasy world of how it came to be. And at first I had a huge 3 or 4 chapter info dump. And that's one of the things I wanted to change and take out of this book. And which I did. So in the process, I had to retype a couple of chapters. And I took it from having an info dump to having one person in the beginning of the book start telling the story. And that person is Ivar. So when you first start reading this book, Ivar is an older man. He's in his waning years of life, and he's tormented by the things that he's done in his life. So you're first introduced to Ivar, the first couple chapters of this book, and then you get reintroduced to him in chapter 12 of the book. And so after I published the book, I was like, I started thinking, I need to start planning out a story about Ivar and have it tie into this book. And so from what I've written in that book there, I have to go through and make sure it's coherent and the same as in here. So this book follows a line of kings. So in Eowyn, this is going to be a long explanation. In Eowyn, it's just a kingdom that follows the coast of Blythe, the continent Blythe. The world is called Ninibaba. The continent that the main story comes from is Blythe. And the other continent that Ivar is on is called Eleonora. So the story begins in Blythe. There you have the kingdom of Eowyn, empire, in the waning days of their strength. And the last ruling house was Maldoria. And the last king was Ilmorkai. And Mordecai and his wife, they had a son, a child, but it was poisoned, and she was poisoned, making her barren. She couldn't have kids anymore. And so they had a trade agreement with one of the human tribes just over the border on the eastern border. And so they would go over there and trade a lot. Well, it just so happened that the village was attacked by a group of bandits. I'm not going to give too much away. But they were attacked by a group of bandits, and everybody was killed, except for the chieftain's son, his last son. The chieftain had 14 sons, and the last one was a child named Strom. So Mordecai and his wife Leona, they went into the village. They took care of the baby, the human baby, and they brought it back to their kingdom. And they kind of changed the rules of Aelin Empire, of the Aelin Kingdom, to where an elven couple can adopt a human child. So the boy grew up in an elven home. He didn't grow up knowing humans. He grew up knowing elves. And even though he was an adopted son to Elmorikai, uh, he was not accepted by anybody within the royal house. So he is later, crowned king by rules of succession, and he had to fight a pretty much uphill battle. He had a couple of friends that were nice to him. Um, One of them being Iliance. Iliance was a warrior who was a half breed as well. He was half Valkorian, which is the dark elf, and he was half Slada descendant. And Slada is a clan to the south where they have a divide. There's a rivalry between Slada and Maldoria. But Iliance was brought up in the High Elf manner, and he was friends with Strone. So as Strone grew older, he became Strone's mentor in a way. It Strone is crowned king, then he goes and he marries in a diplomatic manner. He marries uh, Leona from Uldimar and Alamora, which is west of them. And it was a trade agreement that the King Japheth and the Mordecai were making so they can have some sort of ties between each other. And that's where Dracu, being now a half elf, comes from those two. So Dracu is of royal lineage. So when Strone falls in battle, he dies at the age of 115. He is killed in the war against the trolls. And the trolls in my fantasy world are not your regular trolls where they're dumb and cannot function in society as civilized. They're they're quite civilized. They're intelligent. They build castles. They have architecture that is beautiful in a manner comparable to the elves. But the only thing with them is that their average height is 7 foot tall. And if you want to picture a armored giant with a great sword and a door for a shield. So that was a uphill battle against them. And when Strone was killed, Iliance, his childhood friend, kind of goes crazy and he takes a legion of their elite warriors and starts wiping out the trolls. So for the majority of the world in that area, the trolls were wiped out and extinct. There aren't any trolls. And the kingdom that was there to the south of Aelin was absorbed into the kingdom of Aelin. And Iliance goes and he takes power and he fights and he goes off the deep end. So it comes down to that the kingdom of Aelin falls to the hands of the council, and the council takes up leadership because they don't know what happened to uh, Strone's wife because she was pregnant when he died. She actually gets teleported back to her father, King Japheth, in Eldamora. And sorry, excuse me, Uldimar. And so he is born over there and he grows up So 50 years later, he makes the trek across the ocean to his father's kingdom. To At first he doesn't want to, but then he sees the suffering of the people, and he sees how they're being mistreated by the nobles and the council, and they're downtrodden and they have no leadership. So he takes up the mantle towards the end of the book and decides to lead the people and become the king he's supposed to be. So in the process he of going over there, he runs into Ivar and meets Ivar, and create some sort of they create a loose relationship. It's, yeah, we have the same kind of goal. Let's go do it. But Ivar doesn't really like Dracu, being that he's a half elf, and there's a reason for him not liking half elves. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, I've been rambling on for about 21 minutes, so I think I'm gonna cut it there. This will be counted as a Saturday upload, so maybe I'll do another upload on Tuesday, depending how things are. Um, I recently did hurt my back. I did something, I don't know what. I just tweaked it, and then yeah, I'm on meds and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, for all those who have hurt their back before, I know what I'm talking about. It's painful to do anything, even sit for a long time. So, but yeah, the next stream would probably be, it would be the 12th, is what I said, and I will be doing an upload then, and I will try to figure out the giveaway thing uh, beforehand. So I might do a test run again on that day to see how it works, how the random thing works. I know that there's a little code you type in, and it locks you into the random choosing thing. So, but yeah, hopefully the audio stayed on good and I didn't lose the audio. Hopefully this is not all wasted. uh, anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for joining in. Like and subscribe. Comment below. And as always, guys, stay being creative.